信じた方が身のためだぞ。
俺は太刀と共に育った身だ。そなたの命の心配をするんだな。
Aloha gamers, Frankie here, and we are back with another episode of the game show. Today, we're taking a look at Ghost of Tsushima. Now, to start things off, this is probably the most accessible samurai game that I've personally ever played. Now, if you do know me, you may know that I play pretty much all of my games on easy, and this was no exception. Now, I have stooped it up to medium now and I can handle it, but definitely try this game on easy. If you played samurai games in the past and you're worried and you were like, I'm not going to be able to handle the game, it looks way too hard, not going to be able to do it, looks too Dark Souls-y, all that kind of, don't let yourself think that, don't deny yourself an amazing experience. So, before we get started, there will be some spoilers here, but for those of you that don't care, stick around, enjoy. Now, before we jump in, there was a new mode that was announced today. I think this sounds really, really cool. It is the Ghost of Tsushima Legends mode. Now, while I was playing the game and I was doing all my samurai battles here and there, I was thinking to myself, damn, this game would be awesome if it was co-op or PvP, and boom, Sucker Punch comes through with a PvP, well, not really, a co-op mode. So first up, it is 2 or 4 players. 2 players, you can be going through co-op story missions. Are going to have mythical settings. 4 players, you can be facing waves of survivals. And finally, a little bit later on, they're going to be adding an extremely difficult 4-person raid. Now, Frankie, you may be saying to yourself, am I going to be playing with the characters in game? No! You're not going to be playing with the characters in game. They're going to have legends that you will get to play with. Now, if you played through Ghost of Tsushima, and this is where more of the game goes into, you'll see that you get to play these mythical, legendary Japanese legends as you're playing along. I think you're going to be able to play as some of those mythic characters that were in those legends. Now, there will be 4 different classes for you to choose from: a samurai, hunter, ronin, and assassin. So each one will offer a different variety of skills, which we're going to find out a little bit more later. Now, if you've played the game, you've seen that you can basically unlock all the skills if you keep playing. This is one of my favorite games I've done in a while. Kind of feels like an old school Assassin's Creed game where you have a lot more control over your movement, what you're doing, where you're going, and it is a lot less sneaking around, assassinating people. Now, you can play like that, but really this is an in-your-face, slashing, slicing, dicing, killing, smacking kind of game, and that's what I like. It's hack and slash, baby. Now, the big thing that sets this one apart from other hack and slash games is you get to change your stance when you're playing. So if you're going through, you're fighting some sword guys, you have just one stance for sword guys. If you're fighting guys with sword guys and a shield, you got a stance for that one. If you're fighting people that got a spear, boom, you got a stance for that one. And finally, if you're fighting the big baddies, they got all different types of big baddies, you got a different stance for that one. You can switch on the fly, you hit R2, change the button, and it slows down time, and you switch your stance. You also get these things so you can throw at people, so you can do these really cool things where you kind of come in, you throw these things, you knock some people out, you slice them, dice them, slip, throw a smoke bomb down, fly over here, go over that. It is a blast. There is so much creativity within the levels. It is just awesome. Now, one thing that's really cool is the story. I don't want to spoil the story too much because there's a lot of people just playing for the story. Let's talk more about the combat, but the story's awesome. It will keep you enthralled pretty much the entire game through. It is very old school Japanese kind of legend where it's all about how you care about the samurai and how secret they are and how nice their society and how you're breaking through and moving into the future. And it's really cool. It's really compelling. And it's a nice historical game too, to a certain degree. Now, no, this did not really happen, but to a degree, a lot of the events are based on real-world events, so it's kind of cool to know that I'm playing a bit of a history game on top of just an awesome hack-and-slash game.
The beach was soaked with so much blood. It was like paste.
So, definitely, I can't say it enough, try out Ghost of Tsushima. Now, if we're talking about it from a visual standpoint, this game is beautiful. There are these waves and rows of flowers and trees and areas and water and islands, and each different separate part to the island has a different feel to it. One's kind of icy, one's kind of marshy, one's all green. It's just a beautiful world that they've crafted. You can take your horse, ride all over the place. You get to do all these little side stories that in themselves are basically like an entire thing to the game. So instead of just throwing stupid side missions all over the place, you follow about 6 other characters' journeys throughout their kind of story. So you're focusing on these other little separate stories rather than like fetching this, fetching that, fetching that. Don't get me wrong, there are some fun little fetch things here and there, but for the most part, they have really gotten everything down to a concise little number of pieces that you're moving on this giant board rather than having to stress about all this stuff that you really don't care about. You actually get invested in each one of these little miniature stories and you want to see them to the end. It's not like, oh, I have to do another mission. No, you're like, oh, I want to find the next part. I want to find the next part. And you can't unlock all the parts until you've gotten to certain areas. Like you won't be able to unlock all of the story missions until you beat the game. So you may get invested and then you have to play to unlock more. Now, this is one of the first games in a while where I probably spent 20 hours before I even made it to the second portion of the game because there were so many fun things like searching down foxes. Now, they don't have any kind of arrows that are like, go here, go there, go there. No, you hit the little touchpad and the wind flies in the directions that you need to go. Now, you can mark things on your map, which is pretty cool. And if you don't want to do that, there's just stuff flying around all over the place. You see a little golden bird, follow that little golden bird, it's going to lead you somewhere. You see a fox, follow that little fox, it's going to lead you somewhere. See a fire burning off in the distance, follow that fire, it's going to lead you somewhere. It is an amazing feeling when you're actually in game and kind of discovering and exploring, and you see some like dead bodies on the ground. You're like, why are these dead bodies here? Oh, and then you see a fiery cart and you're like, oh, there's a fiery cart there. Oh, and then you go a little bit further and then there's this camp of bandits and you gotta kill all the bandits because they've been killing all these people hiding in this spot, and it's just a great feeling of something that I haven't seen in a lot of other games. Although it's scripted, it doesn't really feel like it's scripted. It's like you came upon this thing, you come upon this next thing, you keep coming upon these things, and it really does feel good, and it doesn't feel like they forced me into this story. They forced me into this here. There, I can kind of take things as I see and as I move in time. Now, eventually they do unlock a fast travel, and a part of me feels like it deterred from the game because I liked going everywhere, but then it gets to this point where you're like, oh, just fast travel here, fast travel there, fast travel here. And then once you get there, it slows it down a little bit, but if you can keep from using the fast travel all the time, do it. And once you get the completionist point, it's just 1,000 times easier than going from bottom of the map, top of the map, bottom, top of the map, but still, it's great. Now, another thing I loved is they have all these different armor sets. Now, a lot of games offer you different things to kind of customize and do this here, and really it's just kind of aesthetic. Nothing's gonna happen in this game. All the armor sets give you some kind of little beneficial thing. What I would love to see is maybe hot swapping armor sets, because right now I have to go in, go through, pick all the little things, go here, and I love it, and there's all these charms that match them, so I'll have like this one armor set that's great for bow and arrows, makes everything better, and then I'll go in, you get these charms that you can add as well that give you a little bit of upgrades here and there. You unlock those as you're going along. So there is so much customization in this game. Oh, it's so awesome. But you can run the different charms. So I like to run a bunch that are all about bow and arrow. And then I'm like this beast bow and arrow dude. Now you can upgrade all of those armor kits. You can upgrade all of your weapons. You can upgrade all of your side stuff. You can unlock all of these kill points. There is so much to do in this game. And like I said, it is extremely accessible. It's disgusting how accessible it is. And if you're worried that you're like, Frank, I don't want to play an accessible game. I want to play a damn game that's difficult, that's challenging, that's hard, that's going to make me feel like, you get that game as well, because they have also already updated for free like a brutal difficulty. I forgot what they call it in game, but it is killer, and I tried it for 2 seconds and you just die immediately. So if you want that, it is there, and it still offers that same amazing gameplay with all of that. Now, there are tons of little fun things you unlock that I didn't talk about here. There's so much going on. I definitely suggest you watch some gameplay videos. The duels are fantastic. Give you a little taste of duels at the start here. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima out on PlayStation 4. The new update is coming this fall, and it is going to be free for all owners of the game. They've already had another update in the past. They seem to just keep pounding stuff on there, and all of this is like 60 gigs. So if you don't have a lot of space on your PS4, don't even worry about it. You can fit this one in, and it's a great game and definitely worth your time. Get it physical, get it digital, get the special edition, get whatever you want. It is awesome. Now, thank you all for coming through. My name is Frank. This is The Game Show. We'll see you again soon.